Why did you collect this walking cane?
Alright, well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
So we'll be doing the interior trail today, but if you haven't done the perimeter, when it's nicer out, not icy, I really recommend doing the perimeter trail, which goes all the way around the outside. That's really pretty. I'm sure a lot of people have done it before, but we'll be doing Deer Run and Fire Road. So the first thing I want to point out, some people may not notice, but does anyone know what these are called here, these mounds, or where they came from? Yep, they're the breastworks, so they're earthworks. So this is actually from 1777. You can see them kind of spotted along the northern part of the island here. And so this is actually where the Northern Continental Army was stationed in the Revolutionary War. And there was thousands of men. Let's see, we had 6,000 to 8,000 Continental regulars and militia on the island here in 1777. And they were expecting to actually fight the British here and have the British Army come down from the north, past Saratoga and Schuylerville and Stillwater, and come all the way down here. And they dug these breastworks here, and so you'd end up here. So the Americans had the high ground up there, rather than taking it, having to fight right here. So they moved all the thousands of soldiers all the way up there, and that turned into the famous, Battle of Saratoga. Now, this is where we're at right now, is the confluence of the Mohawk, which is coming from this way, and the Hudson, that's north-south right there. So it's a really important place because people coming from New York City would go all the way through up if they're taking the trail, they'd take a barge or a boat up to Albany, and then this is where they would ford the river. So there was never a bridge here in the 17 and early 1800s. You would actually, and there'd be a lot less water actually through here also. So people could literally step through on stones all the way through to get to Waterford, and that's how Waterford got its name. It's where you ford the water.
Oh wow.
And so let's see. So you got that. The other thing I wanted to mention, which is nice, is the sycamore tree here. This could be a witness tree actually. So I could have been here in 1777 when the Americans and the Continental Army were stationed here. So that's how old it is. It's hundreds of years old. And it just keeps going. And it's a witness because a witness is history. Exactly. Yep. So a witness tree is something that was around for important, historical, period. And so witness history. All right. So we'll keep walking down through.
A witness tree, huh? Does anybody want to borrow a hiking pole? I only need one. Yeah, well, it's a good fellow.
Alright, well, I just want to take a quick break. So, on the early maps of the settlers that came through this area in the 1600s and earlier, they showed that there was actually a Mohican village that was right here. And so they actually had that the leader was named Monument at the time. So, and it was a wooden structure right on the northern part right here is where they show it. So it's kind of cool. So they found thousands of artifacts of like flint spears and arrows and that kind of stuff all throughout the island. So anytime anyone wants to dig any hole, New York State actually has to come out and have an archaeologist say that it's okay to like put a stop sign in if that's like out there. So everything's very controlled because you could actually find something here. So it's very difficult to actually work and dig down deep into the soil here. So they have found thing, and the indigenous people lived here for thousands of years, obviously, before the settlers came through. So now we're going to be doing Fire Road. So this goes all the way through here. Usually we go around the outside there for the perimeter, but that's going to be a little too dangerous, I think. So we'll be going right down through here and then go through Deer Run. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I went to the train.
So I'll just do a quick little thing now. So that's Van Skyke Island over there. Okay. And that's, if you ever get a chance, there's Van Skyke Mansion that's down that way. And that's actually where the generals were during 1777. They stayed in the Van Skyke Mansion during that time with any other operations and stuff like that. The other thing I wanted to mention is that before that, a couple of years before that, some people may have heard about Henry Knox. There was the Knox train, the Knox expedition. That's where they took cannon all the way up, like around North Ticonderoga, and they brought them down through here. They had 59 heavy guns, which is about 60 tons. That's a few dump trucks worth of like cannons and other artillery and that kind of stuff. And they actually, when they were taking them down through, it was actually easier to travel sometimes in the colder winter because they could actually go right over the ice. So they got to think about that, driving like effectively dump trucks over the ice. With oxen too. So they pulled it.
We recreated that and showed you what that might look like.
Oh, that's right, exactly. Yeah, the latest documentary. Yeah, it's really cool.
Can you marker about that? What is the documentary?
The American Revolution on PBS.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah.
I'll have to tell my mom. She
You
loves
can't see
that.
it from the car. I was on my
Oh.
bicycle and I never would have noticed.
What did you notice? I'm sorry.
There's a marker about all that artillery being moved out here that he just spoke of.
Wow, in Waterford?
Huh?
Yeah,
Where is-
Waterford, she
in
said.
Waterford?
Yeah.
Route 9, Crescent Road.
Crescent Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's interesting, I didn't know about this until I read about it recently, but they would actually drill holes in the ice and then try to bring up water and then let it freeze overnight to try to strengthen. So they do layer and layer of ice. So they were drilling holes up there and down towards Albany where they had to cross. And so then the water, they'd bring it up and let it layer on ice to strengthen it so they could bring over those heavy cannons, which was interesting. And actually one of a massive 18-pounder cannon went through the ice at Albany. There was actually some people talking about that recently. But they already had the ropes fastened to it. So it took a whole day, but they were able to get the cannon up. I guess some people from Albany came and helped, and they were able to get that cannon up and actually delivered out in Massachusetts. And that's actually, the Knox train was really important to helping Washington in Boston and having basically the British military leave Boston shortly thereafter. So when all that artillery got there, it was shortly thereafter, a couple months, and then the British left Boston. And so the other thing I wanted to mention, we don't really get to see it from here, but if you do the perimeter trail, you can see Harmony Mills, which are the old mills up there in Cohoes, and that's actually where they found a mastodon. And so you've probably heard about that, you've heard about it at the New York State Museum down in Albany. And that was discovered in 1866, and they think that mastodon died about 11,000 years ago. And so at that time, 11,000 years ago, there was a mile of ice above us right here. So you just got to think, just a complete mile of ice. It's just solid ice straight above us, just flowing like a river, really slowly down toward Albany in New York City. So a lot of ice. So it was deposited there, and they discovered it. So we'll keep doing the inside trail here. We're going to stay away from the cliffs right here. So.
I'm gonna wait till there's no eyewitnesses, then I'll put it. Would you?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds.
You want us to go ahead?
Gentleman,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
mural used to